If there's one thing that I took from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, aside from 15 years of night terrors about disembodied heads giving sage advice, is that there's really nothing more beautiful than when 5 different diverse things come together and create a megazord of good music. Which is why we're taking all 5 pentatonic positions and kind of flowing them together in a very musical way. So a lot of times you learn pentatonic scale as positions, right? So like the first position that we did in these other videos is like E minor. And just learn all the notes, all 5 notes in one spot here, then one spot here, then one spot here, then one spot here, then one spot here. There's only 5 of them. Check out the previous videos if you don't know that. But I think a more fluid way to practice this musically is to kind of pair them off in groups on the higher strings, okay? So what do I mean by that? If we take this first E minor pentatonic thing, we have the notes E, G, A, B, D, and E. That's just in one position. You don't have to move your hand left or right. You're just kind of in this spot, chilling, Power Ranger style. We can get those same notes on one string. E, G, A, B, D, E. Okay, so same notes. Doesn't really matter what position you're in. It's just about kind of locating the notes and being able to call upon them musically when the proper time arises. Just like that Megazord. So, if you want to just look at the frets, it's open, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. Alright? Now, for more of a guitar solo thing, a lot of times we'll be doing things higher up on the neck with the higher strings, okay? To kind of make it kind of cut out more a little bit. So, same rule applies for the high string. Open, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. Now, that's all good and fun, but I think it's really good to have another string to kind of pair off with, right? So we're going to take the B string, and we're going to take the end of every position, and we're going to learn the last 2 strings. So again, in that first position, we have open 3, open 2, open 2, open 2, open 3, open 3. So the nice thing about pairing the B and the E strings together is that we're going to start kind of making these couplets, almost double stops, if you will, right? So the B string is open 3, just like the E string is open 3. You can play those separate or together as a double stop. And the great thing is, the next position that we did, if you remember the position 2, we have 3, 5, and 3, 5. So now we're going to actually kind of start connecting, playing through both of these shapes, almost in a super lengthwise shape. So B string, open 3, 5, E string, open 3, 5. Be able to go forward and backwards. You can hammer on because the root note is open. Pull off. Alright? We can add these to an E minor chord. So if you don't have like a looper pedal, maybe, or someone else to play with, you can kind of like strum a chord a little bit. And then jump into that to kind of create like a little bit of musical context to practice some of these notes. Just forward and backwards. Just start out with just these 6 notes. It's still the pentatonic scale. We're just doing it in kind of like a different spot. E minor. Backwards. E minor double stop. Alright, so once you kind of see the connection of just these, and again, this is totally movable. Say we started here, we would just go a root note, 3 frets higher, and 2 frets higher. And that's going to be symmetrical on the high E string too, alright? So let's actually go one further. Like we said on the high E string, it's open, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. It's really similar on the B string. It's going to be open, 3, 5, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so you can kind of think of these as playing off of each other, the exact same thing really, just with one note difference. Instead of the 7th note, it's the 8th note. This is a G note, G, A, B on that B string, right? You can start combining these all the way through. You can double stop all of this octaves notes with these 2 strings. Open, 3, 5, 7 and 8, 10 and 10, 10, or 12 and 12, right? And then everything would repeat. So we go 15 and 15, 17 and 17, so on and so forth, right? So a good way to do it is just to run back and forth between them. So like, okay? That was just kind of, I don't know, some people might consider that a more musical exercise because you're pivoting in what I would consider a more natural way for like a lead playing style to develop. Instead of going all the way through a scale sequentially and then shifting into a different position, so on and so forth. So I think this is a really cool way to kind of start maybe sliding into different things. So really just memorize this one position. I think E minor is a great place to start because a lot of the dots help you out if you have like inlays on the odd numbered frets. Again, high E string is open 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. B string is open 3, 5, 8, 10, 12. Okay? If you want to go backwards, maybe start on the highest note that we just did. And then kind of just run back to the 8th fret. So maybe just take these 5 notes and start working them into, you know, a more musical way. You can add them to chords. Any of those chords in the key of G, in the key of E minor, are going to be really helpful. And then we can start adding these to maybe some of the more familiar positions that you've used, right? Like let's actually just take position 5 from the last video, right? Where we did 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. As you can see right there, that 10, 12, 10, 12 is what we just did by going up the B string and up the E string. So maybe we can start thinking in this way, right? Maybe we're hitting an E minor chord, sliding from, and then we finish into different shapes, okay? You can always connect whatever shape you are. Like I think a lot of players will develop tendencies to maybe stay in one shape or just really master one shape. Again, for me, and I am definitely not unique in this, the minor pentatonic shape is really kind of where most of my licks come from. So I'm really heavy on that position form 1 shape. Now other players might like form 2, form 3 better. Whatever it is, just find out how you can kind of link 2 strings together through them, and that will always be a really great way of connecting a more familiar form or shape. So aside from just learning, you know, all 5 shapes and being able to fluidly transfer through them, that's one way to do it. Another way is arpeggios, which we've talked about in a lot of different videos. All of these are just different ways to kind of see the fretboard and to navigate to where you might want to try to like just really start rocking out and riffing out and just being a true boss guitar master. And I really think the pentatonic scale is a great way to kind of start making those connections because it's really not too hard. You know, I mean, open 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. Come on, are you kidding me? Please, it's easy. It's just one string. You do it on the low string too. There's tons of awesome riffs that are just those notes, you know? Which is a nasty song called Dragonfly, which maybe I'll even put at the end card at the end of this video. So definitely, start making these connections, double stop through these shapes, and then just start rocking out and let me know how you're doing with it. Any questions or comments, please hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.